Well, since you mentioned it, speaking of Twitter, I actually just this past week got into my first official Twitter fight.
Oh
Kind
yeah,
of.
you were talking about that a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily it was like a full-on fight. It was more of like a skirmish.
Skirmish.
It was a bit of a
Well,
skirmish.
hey, language is important. You have to
Yes.
make sure. Our words are very important.
Yeah, I wasn't having a full-on slugfest with somebody on Twitter. It was just
Skirmish is the right word, I think.
I had left a comment on someone else's tweet, and they felt like that I was being. I guess they thought that I was being stupid, which I wasn't. I was trying to make a point, in which I clarified my point. After that, it was just, radio silence.
Yeah. Well, you tend to leave a lot of people in radio silence, where it's like, oh, what? You have nothing to say? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of my MO because because the tweet in question dealt with the recent news about girls being let into the Boy Scouts.
Right.
And the original tweet was from this guy Will Witt. He's a presenter on PragerU.
PragerU.
Yeah, PragerU.
Yeah.
And he was talking
Not
about
not Will. Well, I always, for whatever reason, his name sounds very familiar with Will Wheaton, which is not the same guy.
Right. The self-proclaimed king of the nerds.
Exactly.
Yeah, what a beta soy boy. But anyway, back to my story. What was it? Will Witt from PragerU put out tweets like saying, Boy Scout is for boys. It's in the name. And I'm a troll, but I'm a virtuous troll. So I replied to his tweet by saying, by kind of like being a troll, and I put, if there are no distinctions between boys and girls, men and women, then maybe we should consider getting rid of gendered laws and equal pay and affirmative action is where I would start. And so after that, someone commented on my tweet saying, he started out with LMFAO. So we're dealing with high intellect.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And as LMFAO is that isn't the
not the band.
Yeah, not the band, but laughing my ass off or laughing my fucking ass off. And well, let me just so I'm fair and I don't misrepresent this guy.
You don't need any more hate tweets.
Oh no, I don't know. I'm still waiting for our first hate comment.
Maybe this guy will be watching and he's like slamming down on his keyboard.
I was like, what? Oh yeah. But the lack of inherent differences doesn't have anything to do with the fact that they are treated differently, which is what those laws are about. And I thought that was hilarious, and I replied back like, well, that's the point. With us, allowing girls to go into Boy Scouts, we're treating them as if there is no inherent difference. So therefore, there's we're treating them like no differently. So therefore, it stands to reason that Equal Pay Act and affirmative action are no longer necessary to be enforced.
Yeah.
And after that, I was just no more no more replies.
Yeah, it's.
So
I mean, the real problem is like how we're trying to just like, oh yeah, the gender doesn't matter. It's everyone's interchangeable. It's like, well, that's really not the case. That's
because
not that. And to me, like this whole idea of um, is allowing girls into the Boy Scouts, like okay, that's fine, but like you're pretty much like anything that but you're pretty much like denigrating like the Girl Scouts, almost like you're making it like it's like Negro League baseball, where it's it's something like that. It was something inferior to the Boy Scouts. Like no one ever said that the Girl Scouts were inferior.
right, yeah.
But what the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts were about, it was a group where and for the Boy Scouts it was it was a way for boys to interact with each other and good good male like role models
Yeah, it was a place
and
for
learning stuff
young
and vice
boys to
and vice
develop skills
yeah
like leadership and also just like personal growth. Be
yeah
upstanding
responsibility
citizens and so
yeah
on and so forth.
and it's and the same thing goes for the Girl Scouts too. And in fact, they didn't really do a whole lot different than the Boy Scouts did. It was girls doing it. And to be honest, they might be better because they have really awesome cookies. But it's
I
just
mean, yeah, nobody wants to buy popcorn. Get out of here with that popcorn.
yeah, no one wanted to buy the
Pass
Boy
me
Scout
a
shit.
box of them Thin Mints.
And yeah, but it's also good for girls to hang around with other girls and good like female role models. Like it's we don't have to always there wasn't some glass ceiling for them to break through. It's all about how it was so that people of their own gender could spend time together, like and learn how to interact and be good citizens with one another, and also learn from older role models from like their gender. That's a good thing sometimes.
I mean, it
And
was basically these programs are just mentoring programs, and it'd be one thing if they said like, oh, we're gonna stop Girl Scouts, and so it's like, oh, and then asking Boy Scouts to take them in. No, they're still gonna have Girl Scouts, but they just browbeat Boy Scouts into taking girls.
yeah,
So
it's
and like
just
and they keep saying like, oh, girls need strong role models and yada yada yada. So
well, they just like tore that whole they tore their role models away from them because now like I mean the Girl Scouts are pretty much going to be what like useless at this point if
yeah, it'd be
Boy Scouts.
superfluous. It'd be redundant. But and then they came out and says like, oh well, they're not gonna have mixed they're not gonna have mixed groups. It's like let's see how long that lasts.
Oh yeah, well now that this line's been crossed, oh it's only a matter
Yeah,
of
of
time.
course. There's no such thing as a slippery slope.
Yeah, it's just
like never gonna happen.
And for me, it's I'm as a former Boy Scout myself. It's just I mean when is to me it's like when is enough going to be enough where this whole gender neutral stuff and we're all interchangeable kind of thing like we're not looking at reality anymore. It's like we're creating these this make believe world that we want to live in.